the realms of inspirational gospel music and motivational messages. The Gospel Caravan is just not a radio program. It's an experience that will uplift your spirit and touch your soul. Join Rufus Divine Cannon as he shares powerful testimonies, interviews gospel artists, and brings you the best in contemporary and traditional Liberian gospel music. Connect with fellow believers from around the world as you watch and listen to the powerful messages of hope and faith. Mark your calendars and set your alarms, because the Gospel Caravan with Rufus Divine Cannon airs every Sunday from 7:30 to 10 a.m. on Love 105.1 and Love TV Live on Facebook for an interactive and uplifting experience. The Gospel Caravan, where faith meets music.
I never change. I am your God. Me, I am Lord. I am Lord. I am your God.
Remember not the former things, not the things of old.
Behold,
Yes,
you see,
it's a dawn of a new day,
the way now
a pleasant way to welcome you to
our proper water
the month of September. Today is the first day of September. So barely 29 more days to say goodbye to September.
So you worry, don't you know you are just
Because the month of September has 30 days.
I choose to bless you.
So we are glad that we are counted amongst the living. It is not because of our technical know-how, our handsomeness or beauty,
Oh,
or earthly wealth that got us up and running this morning.
I'm your weapon of warfare.
The special grace of God got us moving. There were others who had plans, but today the cold hands of death took them away, that they were unable to see the first day of September. We started the month of August. We did not end it. We started the year 2024. They are unable to see the 9th month. You're not better than those that are dead and gone, but by the special grace of God, you are alive and counted amongst the living. And I want to say to you this morning, no matter what you may find yourself going through, the situation around you may seem so difficult, it seems so troubling, but I want you to trust and believe that God who have begun his work in you is faithful and just to complete it. I am a living testimony. So wherever you are, the Gospel Caravan is where we play 100% Liberian gospel music. Take up the time to bring in the studio Liberian gospel ministers, talk about the music and those things they are involved with. The flip side, 9 o'clock, we bring you our motivational messages interspersed of biblical references. In today's edition of the program, we're going to be looking at understanding God's grace. Like I always say to you, there's no mate in grace. So we're going to be understanding God's grace. What are some of the things that the grace of God is accompanied with? So be there, I'm here. Together we say a teamwork supportive. If today is your birthday like my niece, which is Micra Solo, say happy birthday to you. If your birthday was on yesterday or have passed, like my senior sisters, Helena Cannon, and you say Sophia, you celebrated your birthday on yesterday, I say happy belated birthday to the both of you. Let us join praising the Lord. He says in his word, When praises go up, blessings are bound to come down. So what are you telling God this morning? You should be telling those problems or those situations how powerful your God is. Yes. Let not the heathen say, where is your God? Who is meant to say and it come to pass in your life when God having said? Because he told us in his word, he planned towards us is of good and not of evil to bring us to an expected end. Welcome to the Gospel Caravan. Join us if you are in the diaspora. You can log into www.loveradioonline.com and you get us live on the internet, or you join us on our Facebook page, Love TV Live. And those of you with your Afamika band radio, tune into 105.1. And together, I have recused myself already and asked the Lord to take charge. I'm a sinner. For all who have sinned and foreshadowed the glory of God, I've come to say, Lord, use me. Don't look at me, but take what God is going to do through me this morning on the program. Welcome to the Gospel Caravan. This is the Gospel Caravan on Love 105.1 with Rupert Divine.
Say you never change. I am not I am the God, I am the God, I am the God,
Oh yes, he told us we should remind him of his words. He will never leave us, nor forsake us, never put burden on us that we just can bear. So let's go for our very first song this morning. Of course, it's from the album titled Excellency Jehovah. And it's done by my own wife, Mrs. Grace Cannon. Of course, she's based there in the USA. The Excellency Jehovah album will be officially launched in the USA on September 29th. Of course, that will be on a Sunday. For those of you who are in the diaspora, especially in the US, and wanting to form part of the program, this is the information that you need to know. On Sunday, September 29, 2024, at 5 p.m. to 6 is the red carpet, and the actual event starts at 6:30 p.m. And get the venue. The venue is 7500 Greenwich Avenue N, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota 55443. So you can get there, and of course, you fellowship and enjoy the great administration of great sons and daughters who's going to form part of the great lunch. And what is so interesting here, that day is also her birthday. So happy birthday to you, Mrs. Grace Cannon. I wish you all the best. This life has to offer as you celebrate your new age, and of course your album launch, The Excellency Jehovah, on that special day of yours. So let's get the song Excellency Jehovah right here on Love Radio 105.1.
What a
This is the Gospel Caravan. And Rock 105.1 with Rufus Divine. Oh yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful song there from the album titled Excellency Jehovah. Minister Grace Carney, of course, blessing our hearts this morning. And I told you the official launch will be there in the USA on the 29th of September, and that happens to be her birthday. So it's going to be fantaglorious, okay? So let's get another song here for you by the man Victor Jones. It's a new song he just came up with, and Victor based there in the USA. So Victor Jones is going to bless our hearts with this one right here on your favorite dial.
Yeah.
Monyue, the battle man say, thanks to the man Victor Jones for blessing our house this morning. Let's cross over to Ambassador Fatu Zion with the remix of the song Who Is Behind This. This one is a week plus now, and it's trending. So we love to say welcome to the Gospel Caravan. This is where you get to hear new songs. This is where you get to familiarize yourself with Liberian gospel music 100% right here on our dial.
Okay. Who is behind it? She's my only friend. You do not need a rocket scientist to tell you, yeah. Who is behind it? The one who knows it all. That he was me so much behind. Yeah. Abba Father, all sufficient, Adonai. I've come to say thank you, God, for your time. Upon your time, I heard that nobody, but God fight for my life. I am really who I am today. As a child begin to come up, so shall God be the canopy over your life. There are no problems too large or too small that we cannot come together. As long as I'm where you are, you not me where you forever. I know we can make it, we can make it, we can make it. Who is behind it? Jesus, my only friend. You do not need a rocket scientist to tell you, yeah. Someone wants to stop my blessings. Someone wants to stop my treatment. Don't even want me to admit. We cannot deny blessings. Fighting for me, Lord. Fighting for me, Lord. Fighting for me, God. I know you are mighty, Lord. Fight against me. Who is behind it? Jesus, my only friend. You do not need a rocket scientist to tell you, yeah. Who is behind it? The one who knows it all. That he was being on my behalf. Yeah.
Oh yes, Ambassador Fatu Zion, who is behind this remix. Of course, sometimes we tend to wonder what is happening in our lives. We start to go back in our closets and what's happening? You know, there are times in which we fail to understand few things and we do not pay attention to details. And at the end of the day, it happens at a point in time where the devil used our leniency or he used our vulnerability to capture and put a blockage to the things that should be happening for us, the things that should be taking us from one level to the other. You know, the Bible says, my unfamiliar friend, someone that I wine and dine with, have lifted up his heel against me. It's in the Bible. So until we reason, we get to understand that only God we can trust. The songwriter said, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no one to trust. Only God. Even that partner that is lying right beside you is only God. So many a times we make steps in life. Many a times things do happen in our lives, and we tend to shift the blames. We tend to, I always say to people, and I have come to realize these words are not just meant to be said, but I place myself into it. Words are like seeds, they do grow. Sometimes, because of anger, we say things with our mouths. Because we feel disenchanted, we say things with our mouth. And the devil only suggests to you. He doesn't force you to do what he wants you to do, but he suggests to you and give you all of the counterfeit ways and means, and that you will feel within yourself that, oh yes, that's the right decision I'm taking. And at the end of the day, when you shall have taken that decision, what happens? You start to live with regret and you start to live with the resentment. But let us understand. I always say to us, there are two things in this life we'll always be remembered for, right? The problems we create and the problems we solve. And we must take responsibility of two things in our lives. Our fortune and that of our misfortune. Now, most of us, when things happen, we blame it on people. But we should own it to ourselves. If we have not given ourselves people who hurt us, people who do things to us, they wouldn't have. So we need to own up to our own misfortune. And we need to own up to our fortunes. All right? So the two things in life that we will always be remembered for, the problems we create and the problems we solve. You are right now creating problems for somebody so that you can excel in your thinking. You feel that by creating problems for somebody so you can have access to do what you think you can do within the arena. Know that at the end of the day, it's going to pay off. That's a word called karma. If you feel that you are hurting somebody and you will get along with it, no. At the end of the day, it's going to pay off. Karma is the guy who awaits you when you feel that you have arrived. Then he comes raw in your face and remind you of the things that you did along the way. So when we grow up, as we are growing up, that's why we always say we need to build a personal relationship with God, because the world is evil. A lot of things happening. Even that closer friend of yours can be the one pressing the trigger. Someone who you may have stand before bullets for can be the one pressing that trigger. My sister, my brother, I want to encourage you. And even encouraging myself, because these are things that are happening on a daily basis in our lives. We sit and we try to motivate you. We try to encourage you. But there are deeper things happening in our life. We cannot break down. That's what I always say to people. For me, because of the sake of those depending on me in this life, I won't give up, regardless of the situation, regardless what comes my way. Because of those that are depending on me, I won't give up. How many of you know that there are lots of people depending on you, regardless of your status in society? There are a lot of people depending on you. It doesn't have to be financially. Morally, they are depending on you. Academically, they are depending on you. There are words that you speak in their lives. It goes like a two-edged sword. It pierces the inner man and damage those things that cause the mind and the thinking to be backward. So when we reach the point in this life and difficulties tend to show its face on us, we shouldn't give up. We should trust and believe that there is a God. He said, I am your God. That is my name. I share my glory with no man. Who is man to glorify himself in what God has done? You see that? So these are things that we taught to remind us of. But every time we have the opportunity to speak to your conscience, these are things we want to bring to your attention. And these are things we also remind ourselves of. It may seem so weary. School is about to open. Tomorrow school is opening. High schools, colleges, come on. You haven't yet paid the children's school fees. You haven't yet paid your school fees. Rent is on your head to pay. A lot of things just piling up. But guess what? God will glorify himself. He will send you that destiny helper. That friend of yours who been doing it have turned his back on you. That friend of yours who been doing it, or that family member of yours who been doing it, have turned her back on you. Have turned his back on you. But guess what? He said, I will not leave you nor forsake you. I will never put burden on you that you just can't bear. Where my way leads, my grace is always there to sustain you. So let's welcome the late Decote Jens with the song, What He Has Done For Me. What the Lord has done for me, I just can't tell it all, folks. Trials and tribulations. He said, the affliction shall not arise the second time. And we know by faith, God will move mightily in that situation of yours. God is able to do what he says he will do. He's going to fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God. It may seem not to be working. That doesn't mean it won't work. Because God, won't give up on you. He's able.
Okay. What he has done for me, what he for me, what he the Lord has done for me, what he for me, what my mama cannot do, what he has done What my papa can do for me? What he have done? What my auntie can do for me? What he have done? What he have done? I thank you, Jesus, for your grace and for my life. What you have done, Jehovah, what you have done, Jehovah Rapha. What my mama can do, it's what you have done. But yeah, you worry. To December, it is by your grace. The my love today. It is to do with love. The my love today. What my love, that's what you have done. Look at me today, I am a living testimony. Come and see me, I am a living testimony. What the Lord has done. He turned my disgrace into grace. He turned my money into testimony. Hey, Jesus, what you have done, what you have done, what you have done for me. What my mama can do for me. What he has done. What he has done. What my taking it for me? What he has done. What my papa can do for me? What he has done. What my taking it for me? What he has done. What he has done for me? One thing I know about the Lord is unlikely to lie. If you believe in God, but I hope in the Lord. If we can choose my love, we can do those things for you. What for mama can I do? Can't touch you at all. Don't know the way. No way. Just let go and go. To jump away. Can't walk. Then no way. No way. Just let go again. Just let go again. Don't worry, go away. Don't worry, go away. Don't worry, go away. Don't worry, go away. Let Papa know it away. Let Papa know it away. Personne everywhere, il a des moi. C'est que personne everywhere, il a des moi. Tous les mois de louer. Adele. What he has done for me, 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 what the Lord has done for me, what he has done for me, what my mama can do, what he has done for me, what my papa can do for me, what he has done for me, what my auntie can do for me, what he has done, what he has done.
Oh yes, what the Lord has done for me, and I just can't tell it all. He has wiped away all of my sorrows, all of the pains, and brought forth the victory in the month of September. I know that you are going through a lot, but guess what? God, who has started his work, is faithful and just to complete it. Let's say good morning to you, Alfred Sumo. Seminin, how you doing? You there in Buchanan? I'd love to say good morning and thanks so much for following the broadcast. And all of you who are following the broadcast via our Facebook TV, we say just leave your comments there and we will acknowledge and appreciate you on the program this morning. Oh yes, God has started his work. He's faithful and just to complete it. When man said there's a casting down, he got stand in for your uprising. Let's welcome Minister Roberta G. Gafler with the song Breathe. I want you to know, just focus on what God is doing in your life. Don't focus your attention on the things that are happening in your life. Keep your eyes up to the hills. He said, look up to the hills from whence come your help. Your help cometh from the Lord, the one who made the heaven and earth. He never sleeps nor slumber. What are you telling him this morning? Because weeping may endure for the night. Joy comes in the morning. So ask the Lord, Lord, I need that personal relationship with you. Breathe in me that fresh air of life. Take away the sorrows. And I always say to people, and I've come to realize and even place that in my own life, that all things work together for good to them that love God and are called by his name and purpose. There are things that happen in your life. Appreciate the failures, because the failures help you. It help you to learn a lesson, to build up from where you fail. So the next time you will have an experience, though it may be so fresh, it may be so troubling, it may be so weary for you, but guess what? Appreciate that it has happened. All things happen in one's life for a reason. Appreciate that it has happened in your life. And that is not something for you to curse. No. Appreciate that it happened because it have taught you a lesson. And the good things that do happen, appreciate it because it has given you the urge to excel to another level. So your failures and your achievements are all things that we should appreciate. And why it happened to me? Why me? Come on, don't question. He's not a God to be questioned. All things work together for good. That heartbreak you are going through at the moment, have you come to realize that it may be so painful to you at the moment, but at the end of the day, you will say, oh, thank God it happened. Because if it had not happened, this was what was going to happen to me, or this was what was going to happen, or I wasn't going to get what I have now. So when you have these kind of difficult moments in your life, appreciate God. Say thank you. Because he said in his word, in all things we should give what? Thanks. Whether good or bad. Because the good thing teach us lesson. The bad things rather, it teaches lesson. And the good things edifies our life. So when you go through that terrible time or that terrible moment in your life, and you feel that all is lost and you have lost everything in life, I've come to encourage you. I gave you the story of Job. Job went through the worst case in his life. To the extent, the one that he had love, who cherished him, who said she was so loving and caring. When it reached a point in his life that everything he had was gone. And one fine day, thinking that she's going to encourage him, he said, man, young man, but when find Judah me, what can we say now? I won't say, man, what day? Why you get that cause the man called go and die? But you know what Job said? He said, vanity, vanity, all is vanity. Naked I came into this world, and naked I shall return. So now you find yourself in a state that friends have turned their back on you, relatives, loved ones have turned their back on you. You are in the midst of the situation. You cannot go forth, you cannot go back. You're just in the midst of it. I've come to encourage you. Look up to the hills, he said. From whence come your help? Your help cometh from the Lord, the one who made the heaven and earth. That person who feels that you felt that person was all in your life. They met your needs and wants. And they have decided to sway away from doing the things that they did for you. Guess what? You want to give up? You want life? He said life is not worth living. But I've come to encourage you. That person was only being used as a channel. They are not the source. The God who have brought you on the face of the earth has a plan and a purpose for you, and He will create a way out of no way. Oh yes, He is going to create way out of no way. It may seem not to be working, it may be delayed, but it is never your denier. Trust in Him and know that, Lord, you are able to do what no man can do. Let's now welcome Roberta with the song Breathe right here this morning on the Gospel Caravan on Love FM 105.1. This is the Gospel Caravan on Love 105.1 with Rufus Divine Cunning.
You keep it in heaven. Breathe on me. Won't you breathe all over me? Your breathing make the difference, oh Lord. Won't you breathe, Lord? Please breathe on me. Won't you breathe all over me? The fresh bread, Lord Jesus. Oh, yeah, breathe on me. Breathe on me. Breathe on me, yes, Lord. Breathe on me. There is no way I'd rather be than to be in your presence. Oh, dear Lord, your presence, I'm down on my knees. I need your help, Lord. Won't you breathe all over me? That's just say a word. You said you carried me through it. Feed me through. You let me up. You won't let me fall. You said you carried me through. Feed me through. Yeah. You let me up. You won't let me fall. You said you carried me through. You feed me through. Lift me up.
This is Love FM 105.1 with the irreplaceable D. Rufus Divine Cunning.
You feed me through. You lift me up. You won't let me fall. Your breathing makes a difference, oh Lord. Every time, shout out my voice. Hit the panadol, shout out your never go, 'cause I have you. Oh, 'cause I have you. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh yes, Lord, breathe into somebody this morning. Somebody needs your breath, oh God. Breathe into someone's life this morning. Someone lying on the bed of affliction, on that bed in the hospital, going through a lot of trauma. Lord, breathe into that person's life this morning. Your touch is what is needed at the moment. Lord, breathe, breathe, breathe in the nostrils of that person. What a great song there by Minister Roberta G. Gafler, blessing our house this morning. Let's now welcome Minister Desti Sumo with the song Consistent God. Consistent God. God is consistent in all of his ways. He said to us in Ephesians chapter 2, 8 to 9. He said, "For by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from you. It is the gift of God. It is not from works, so no one may boast. For we are his handiwork, created in Christ Jesus for the good works that God has prepared in advance, and we shall live in them, one in Christ." You see it? So this is a promise. God is so consistent in all of his ways. He's so consistent. It may seem that, oh, this thing is, things not fine, man. Things not going on. But he is a consistent God. There are situations that have arrived in our life, and we said to God, Lord, if you save me from anything here, Lord, I will do all I can. I will worship you. I will adore you. I will live your name on high all the days of my life. As a nation, we saw those things happening. When Ebola came here, we were there, Lord, if you save my life, I will worship you. Boom. God save us. And guess what? We turn our back on him. See some of the things that we are even doing in our nation. And we profess that indeed we are Christians. We are believers. Some of the things that are even happening around us, we condoning some of the things. Coronavirus came. Lord, you say you're not evil. You're not supposed to go. He always honoring his side of the bargaining. You go into an agreement with him, he always keep his side intact. But it is us who always not living up to the promises. But yet still, he's so consistent in all of his ways. You are going through that situation. You went there before and God saved you. He said, oh Lord, please save me. He saved you. And as soon as he saved you and things started to work out for you, you turn your back on him. And you have reached the place in the life now, things have turned out to be the worst. Then you go, Lord, you know what, you might God, like time we can focus on God. And he still remains consistent in all of his ways. He said, come unto me, all he that have living, and I will give you rest. He knows very well we are in a troubling world. There are lots of things happening around us. The flesh is weak. The soul is willing, but the flesh is weak. Ellen McGill, how you doing this morning? Happy new month to you as well. Thank you so much. The soul is willing, but the body is weak. So we get tempted by a lot of things. It is only his grace. He said when situation arises in our life, we should look up to him. So pay attention. Know that God is able. I always say to you, God is able to do what he said he will do. I am a living testimony. If God can do what he continues to do in my life, regardless of my sinful deeds, he's still persistent in all of his ways. When situation arise in my life, I feel that all hope is lost. He encouraged me to the extent he take me to read his word. And when I read the word, I get comforted and know that he will never leave me. That soft voice always reminding me that he will never leave me, never forsake me, never put burden on me that I just can't bear. All I need to do is to build that personal relationship with him and remain in right standing with him. And all other things shall follow. So let us build that personal relationship with the woman, you know? Yes, it's good. So consistency, he's a God of consistency. He never changed. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Why can't you wait on his time? God waiting time is not wasting time, my friend. I want you to know this. Though it may tarry, but it shall come to pass. I'm a young boy now, you know, I need to be doing some things, but yeah, nothing happening for me. What's that now? Then you got the time the devil can send his cohorts. Those people that you think you can seek counsel from. Because, oh, you saying that, yeah, your friend and that. Your friend is succeeding in the level. You saying that, and you say you Christian co, say that. Your friend are going places. There you are. Oh, they asking for Nico at that. But I will not go. Let me show you something on paper. Let me show you something on Oma. Let me go show you something on thing. Is that John the other thing here? You are so weak. Spiritually, you are weak. Physically, you are weak. You join them. And at the end of the day, you plunge yourself into that situation. At the moment where you are getting involved in that thing, what if it is the moment that God chose to be a blessing to you? To open doors, to send your way that destiny helper. That's what I always say to people. From the day God placed me in my mother's womb, he knew me and prepared me for a mission. That's why I'm brought on the forth. I'm brought forth on the face of the earth. And my prayer to him, Lord, let me not die filled. Let me die empty. Somebody say, what do you mean by that? There are people who are dying filled. The purpose for which they were brought on the face of the earth, they deviated from those things that God have required and have planned for them. They die. Some die at the early ages, some in the late ages. They did not realize that they were on the face of the earth for a purpose. They were living out of a purposeful life. It is my prayer to God, Lord, let me identify that gift. And whatever you have placed me on the earth for, let it be accomplished. Oh yes, that's my prayer to him each day. We may act foolish, we act crazy and do all kind of stuff, but it is our prayer, Lord, let us not die filled. Let me die empty. Because but then the fulfillment of what I was placed on the earth have come to reality. The purpose for which I was placed on the earth have come to fulfillment. So you should be asking God. That's what I said to you the last Sunday. We are talking about gifts. There are gifts that you have that you need to identify the gifts and work on it. There are a lot of us, we have so many gifts, but we continue to put ourselves, stick ourselves in a position. When I move here, what will happen to me? What God told Abraham? He said, leave your father's house. Leave your father's house. It is a very hard decision sometimes to take. There are lots of things that happen in our lives with the laissez-faire attitudes. You know, we don't pay attention to details. Some may be the environment for which you find yourself. You try to make life, you see yourself trying to excel. But for every time you go up, you come down. For every time you make a move up, you come down. There are lots of things responsible for those things. So that's why we need to build a personal relationship with God, because he's consistent in all of his ways. Some of those areas we find ourselves, some of our associates, are the main problems to our backwardness. It says, iron sharpening iron. So show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are. Birds of the same feather flock together. You have a good mind. You have the moral standing. But guess what? Your associates are not looking in the direction that you are looking in. So at the end of the day, the possibility of them convincing you to do those things that they find themselves doing, which is contrary to God's plan and purpose for your life. They will convince you because you are weak-minded, you are materialistic, you are quick to be carried away by things you see around you, so you will join them. And that means you are deviating for the purpose for which you are placed on the earth. Sometimes when you deviate and at the end of the day, you get caught up in the web, some may survive and have a second chance. You may not survive to have a second chance. There are people who at the dying minute of their life, they gave their life to Christ. You may not have the time. You may be very instantaneous. And at the end of the day, there's no opportunity to say, Lord, forgive me. But others, they had that opportunity to say, Lord, forgive me. I have sinned against you through words, thoughts, and deeds. So that's why we need to walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because we're deeming the time, the days are evil. How many of us have come to realize that there are people we have in our cycles that are not even favoring our just cause? How many of us, some of our associates, they smile with us, but deep down in their hearts, they are not happy for those positive things that are happening in our lives. So they will do all they can in their human power to direct what is happening or what is to happen in your life. So that's why they say the one who keepeth his mouth keepeth his destiny. A lot of us, we have come to realize, and I am one of those. So when I was reading and doing my studies last night, I came across this. If you want to kill, let me give you the scenario. If you want to kill a tree, you will wait a tree get big fire before you get it? No. It makes it difficult. It is on the seed that you destroy the tree. Because when you damage that seed, there will be no germination of that seed to grow into what crops or whatever, into a tree. So it is from the initial. So yeah, you there, things started to show face, things trying to work out for you, but you are not keeping your mouth. You there telling people, oh, this one, and the other one happy, oh, the other one. And at the end of the day, these people that you are doing all those kind of conversation with, they say the heart of a man is desperately wicked, no one knows it. So that person may not be favoring your just cause. So they may go on the contrary and do those things that are going to put a halt to what is about to happen in your life. Some go as far as wanting to take away your life because they feel so envious. They feel that, oh, why it should be you? But God continued to remain consistent in all of his ways. It is left with you, your side of the bargaining. As the one is about to happen, oh, and the other one, and the other thing, that friend is not even happy with you. I was going through the social media some part of last month, and I saw a post talking about a lady who is a lover of all of her friends. She loves her friends so dearly, and she always into her friends. On her birthday, she was gifted, and when she decided to open her gift, not knowing, some of the friends have orchestrated a plan. And what she got from that gift, the African son we call Yangafo. And God, by his grace, saved her, that she can be able to tell the story. Others never had the opportunity, others never had the second chance to explain the ordeal that they went through from what they got themselves involved with, or the ordeal from friends. But God gave her a second chance so that she learned a lesson. You may not be the one that will have the second chance. You may have the second chance So we should walk circumspectly, not as fools, or redeeming the times, the days are evil. Who knows? It was because of the very good that she been doing and the open spirit that she had for all of them. That's why she survived it today. So that I've come to encourage you. Walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because redeeming the time, the days are evil. Not everyone will smile with you. And the social media have made it so interesting. There will be a lot of comments. There will be a lot of likes, on the post that you would do. But have you examined that most of the comments, oh, thank God for you. Some of them, they are not even real. They're just words, lip service. But they're deep in their hearts. They're not happy for what is happening around you or what is happening for you. I have come to realize, and henceforth, I only make you to know things that have already happened. So you cannot undo those things. But when the things are about to happen, come on. We will exercise the restraint to be tight-lipped. That's what you need to do, my sister. That's the secret behind your progress in life. Keep your mouth. The one who keepeth his mouth, keepeth his destiny. So at the early age, the thing is about to happen. Somebody said it will help you. And because you're enjoying the lecture, the person said it will help you. Some of you are victim of the circumstances. Somebody planned to help you. And that friend that is not favoring your just cause will go and say, look, that one you want help? I beg you, don't help her. They will do the worst thing just to castigate you and make you feel nasty about yourself so that thing cannot come to fulfillment in your life. But guess what? Because you build your trust in God and you have a personal relationship with Him, though it may tarry, but it will surely come to pass. So in order for you to avoid the delay in that process, keep your mouth. Let's now welcome Minister Dusty Sumo with the song Consistent God. It's right here on Love FM, and this is the program, The Gospel Caravan.
Consistent God. Take a look at my life and see what you brought me to. Should have been dead, kind of God to set my name. Truly ups and downs of the fight, cause you stood by me. I keep the straight away, then you keep on showing the way. You never stay. You erase my fingershake when I messed up again. You love me better than I know. To be better than show. Your love is so distant. Oh,
This is the Gospel Caravan on Love 105.1. Look for Divine Family.
You never change. seen you felt before. In spite of what I had to do. Your love is consistent. In spite of who I am to you. Praise what you did to me. You never change. In spite of what I am to you. Your love is consistent.
Oh, yes, your love is consistent in all of your ways. Lord, I acknowledge that you are consistent in all of your ways in my life. I appreciate you. Lord, take the wheel. I cannot make this on my own. You know, sometimes we need to give God let him lead. In all times, let the Lord lead. And we follow. Lord, you are consistent in all of your ways. Your plan towards me is of good and not of evil, to bring me to an expected end. Lord, I have come to Shiloh. I bring before you the things that you know. You knew me before I was placed in my mother's womb. You ordained me for a purpose. Lord, let me live a purposeful life. Oh, yeah. Lord, let me live a purposeful life. Let me not die filled. Let me die empty. So that your purpose for my life can come to fulfillment. I recuse myself, whatever education I may have acquired or I am acquiring. Lord, let the education not supersede your grace. It is just impossible that it supersede you, but I shouldn't see my education as the means of my survivability. I shouldn't see my earthly wealth as a means of comfort. I should see you as my comforter. Those are words that I do utter. And I know God, in his merciful grace, is taking me there. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be. So these are things that we should catalog whenever we are faced with situations in our life. Some of us, we say, life is not worth living. I need that to live. Let me just die now. Send the person and turn it back on me. Send it that happened to me. I don't want to live again. Come on, my friend. I've come to encourage you. The same God that made way out of no way, that person began to sponsor you, or that person started to do things in your life, and the person may have felt to themselves that without you they can't make it, or you can't make it, or they see themselves as a channel. No, not channel, but a source. God, in his merciful grace, will disconnect you, and he make man at the time, meaning where man feel that all is lost, is where God steps in to prove himself strong. and he will create another avenue and send your way another destiny helper. So why take away your life, my sister? Why take away your life, my brother? Why you want to give up on life? Life is worth living. I tell you of a story, right? This man felt that all was lost in his life. He needed to take away life. He said, "What life was not worth living." So he was going to get into the river. He took the rope, everything going. He had a lay right on him. As he placed it, while going, he met up with a man who never had clothes. He was in the bush. The man said, my brother, please help me." He said, "What happened?" He said, "I've been here for so many years. Please help me." He said, "But where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to take away life. Life is not worth living. I'm going to kill myself." He said, "Kill yourself?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Look, can you please give me that clothes on you so that I can have the opportunity to go in town and make living?" Then he said to himself, "I thought I was the only person." From that moment, he gave a U-turn. I say this to say, you may feel that you are the only person right now that going through that situation, but there are people who are going through worse situation than yours. I can tell you for free, folks, the last time, I don't know, but God is so merciful. There was a time in my life that it's the river that God is faithful, man. God is faithful. Sometimes people see you, you're looking good, and they don't know the kinds of screens and the kinds of things that you go through. But we give it all joy. We give it all praises to God because He is our sustainer. The real father had to come to work, had to go to school. Eh? You not get it. You look around, you ask the other person, "No, I had it, but I had to do them all." You ask the other person, nothing. God is so consistent in all of His ways. And then I got on my knees, I said, "Lord, you who brought me this far, according to your word, you say you will never leave me. You will never forsake me. You will never put burden on me that I cannot bear. Because where your will leads, your grace is there to sustain me." And guess what? When I said those words, a friend who I've never, for I don't know how many months, I've never heard from, immediately I received a call. "Tivan, where you at?" I said, "Oh, I'm at my house." He said, "My man, check your phone. I sent you something." God is consistent in all of His ways. I was thinking about just to have 200, because from where I live here is 200, and I didn't even get the first cent to put gas in my car. I only looking for transportation to car, and at the end of the day, I will make it to go back because I know that God would have provided my needs according to His riches. And it was interesting to know that I got money even beyond what I was thinking about. I was able to buy gas, some left. I was able to feed myself for that week. So that tells you, I'm only giving you my life story to tell you that if God can do it for me, He can also do it for you. It may seem not to be working at the moment, my sister. It may seem not to be working at the moment, my brother, but know that all things work together for good to them that love God and are called by His name and purpose. Oh yes, there are difficult moments in our life when friends that you have confided in, friends that you think that they will be a help to you, when they turn their back on you, the worst case scenario, you want to give up. I've come to encourage you, don't give up. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. It may not be rosy at the moment. That doesn't mean God has forsaken you. When men say there's a casting down, is where God steps in for your uprising. When men feel that they are the final appetite, without them you cannot make it, I have come to encourage you is when God is creating a channel, another channel. That person is only being used as a channel to bless your life. They are not the source. God is the source. That's why he said, when we in tune onto his, we hacking onto his word and keep our side of the bargaining, being faithful and knowing that he is the God of yesterday, today, and forever. He will make provision. He will make way out of no way. When people say that you will not make it, I saw I leave her, forget it. I won't finish. She can make it, sir. But are you there? You are making it. How you think you're making it? Is it because you're beaten? Your handsomeness or your brain? No. That's the grace. 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 That's why the songwriter say, your grace is what I need. Your grace is what I need. That's all we need. Get in tune with him. God bless you. The whole thing about it, what the devil can do, when you try to in tune to God, you want to hearken onto his word, you want to remain faithful to his calling. Like the time the devil can bring all kind of juicy everything in your way. Say, yeah, that means also. Then you start to deviate, and at the end of the day, say, hey, my child. But with all that, he's still merciful. He's still merciful. He's a merciful God, my friend. He said, do not doubt in the dark. You are called to the light. The one who have called you have never failed. Since the day of creation, I have never seen the righteous forsaken, neither his seed beg for bread. You may go through those troubling times in your life you are going through right now. You know why you are going through it? Because he's preparing you for something greater. God will not give you what you cannot sustain. You know why? Let me give you an analogy, a classical example. You cannot leave from jump over ABC or K2, you go to first grade. You know why? Because there will be a lot of difficulties. The things that you should learn from the ABC up to the K2, you pass over it. You have no knowledge of it. So the first grade you're in, you're going to experience difficulties. You're going to experience a lot of challenging moments. It takes grace to get you through. So that's why you see life is like a process. It's a process, not even like. Life is a process from one level to the other. Every level you reach in life, there is another devil. And there are a lot of challenges. So those challenging moments that you go through at that level, it prepares you for the next level. And the next level has its own challenges. So as you excel in life, how many of you know that the people that you see all around the place, you call superstars, they go through a lot, but you are not seeing it. You know why? Because they only show what they want you to know. But at the back, they are going through the worst case scenarios in their lives. I may sit here and be encouraging you. Oh yes, and don't give up. But do you know my story? Do you know what I go through during the night hours? Sometimes you have sleepless nights. Sometimes you get so troubling to the extent that you want to give up. But because you are in tune to his word, you are reminded each time when you are feeling weary, you are reminded that he said he will never leave you, never forsake you. He will never put burden on you that you just can't bear. So there are times in which when you see yourself going through diverse situations, just listen to these motivational messages. Get these songs that motivate you, and you will see. Read the word of God. Take the word of God, read it, and meditate on it. All those problems that tend to weigh you down and giving you the negative thoughts will wear away. In the darkest moment of your life, the people that you think you can seek counsel from, they can be the worst one to even make a situation the worst for you. So all you need to do Say, Lord, you said in your word, you will never leave me nor forsake me. I've come before that throne. You know me. You knew me before you placed me in my mother's womb and brought me on the face of on the face of the earth. You have a plan and a purpose for me. I give it to you. Like I said, words are like seeds that do grow. A lot of time we profess those negative things. Tina easy, Tina easy, Tina easy. And at the final analysis, the devil use our own words against us. But we say now, it's not easy. So I have come to realize that no matter how difficult it may be, and how things, it is well. That's why I thank God for the man of God that He have over me as a shepherd. Thank God for you, Pastor James Colley. He always encouraged us. He said, no matter what it is well. Oh, Pastor, things not working, and things not happening, the other one happened. He said, it is well. You know what? That word, it is well. It serves in the capacity to give you hope in the midst of hopelessness. So that the devil cannot steal that joy that awaits you. It is well means even in the midst of the devil situation, it is well because God is merciful and His mercy endureth forever. It is well. No matter how trials and tribulation may arise in your life, it is well because He has the final say. Amen. Oh yes, it is well. Even there's no money to pay your kids' school fees, it is well. Because if you profess the negative things, so the devil will act upon it. So when you say no money, no money, no money, you say no money. So let's make sure that there will be no money. In the midst of it, even when the reality is glaring, it is well. Because you know what? The physical goes along with the spiritual. So while you are professing in the physical, know that it is also taking root in the spiritual. In the spirit realm, there are forces. Oh yes, in the spirit realm, there are forces, the good and bad. So that's why you say, oh, my other has say. No. God's presence in man is your conscience. And your conscience will actually give you a clue. Your conscience will always guard, it's always in the business of wanting to guard you and shield you from those negative thoughts. And it gives you an eye opener of what is to come, what is ahead and what is at hand. So it is level your conscience. Say, hey man, you know that thing you're doing is not correct. Why are you doing it? And you know the thing you want to do, it will not be correct. It will remind you. That's God's presence in you, your conscience. And yet, I beg you, don't do that thing. Don't do that thing. And you know you're suffering, but I put your hand in it here. Then the devil start saying, he wouldn't want you to utter it. You are the CEO. Let's take it for instance. You have this company and you have all of your employees. And each of those employees, each of those departments within your company that is working, they are working towards one goal, is to see that company excel, right? So regardless of their roles and responsibilities, each of them have a part to play in making that company succeed. So you wake up in the morning as a CEO, you call a meeting, say, look, these are things that I want us to do. We want to take the company from one level to the other. We need to do this. We need to do that. And what happens? Each of those landline director also will tell his subordinates that the CEO have given us instruction that we should use this timeline to get this, to do that, so that we can excel in our approach. So the landline managers and their deputies will start to work in that line. So that's how life is. When you wake up in the morning as the CEO, Whatever you speak into the atmosphere, you have the good forces and the bad forces. So the bad forces always looking up for the negative words. So when those negative words comes, they hold fast to it and wanting to implement it to the fullest. Likewise, when the good words comes, the good side work towards it to see it come to fulfillment. So for every time you wake up in the morning and just profess negative things, every time, oh, Tina, you say, hey, how? Now, let me give you another classical example. Why you think Liberia is what it is now? Because all that we think of our nation is evil. But you hear the Ghana man say, Ghana is the best. If they see any good thing happening, they say it's from Ghana. You know why? Because the mentality they have developed for the country, that level of patriotism, nationalism. If only Liberians can start to think positive about each other and think positive about our nation, Liberia will progress. But every time when it comes to negative things, you say, this too is Liberia. So that word, I hate to use it. But for this conversation, we are using it. This too is Liberia. So is it only Liberia that negative things should happen for or happen to? But who told you that lots of challenging moments you in Liberia here? Let me caution you today. You able to go to somebody, say, my man, but give me small thing, the man will that dying gas and you get you neko and keep your other neko. But now in Ghana, my friend. As our Ghanaian brothers, our Liberian brothers and sisters that come from there, that are living there, it's difficult. If you don't work for it, you won't get it. And the means of you getting it to work is very difficult because you cannot infiltrate the people's system. But in Liberia here, we have freedom. Somebody can come from outside today and start to enter Liberia today. When he came or she came to Liberia with a milk can in her hand, start to get onto a red light, she start selling it. You can get out to the airport, you get your milk can in your hand, you start selling red there. But that cannot be done in Ghana and other countries, you know, because the people system, the way in which they structure themselves, the way in which they get to do things. So Liberians, as open as we are, if only we can develop that love for country and love for self, for our neighbors, for our brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters, guess what? Liberia will excel in no time. But you know right now, while others are trying to see that Liberia get on par with other international countries, people are there doing all they can, orchestrating all of the plans, only looking out for the failures so that they can run with it. You know that in Liberia, the negative news runs faster than the positives. Have you come to realize that? So these are things. That's how life is. Because we put ourselves in the position to only look at the negative things and don't appreciate the positives. So the negative things start to work for us. When we try to put our hands, we castigate, and at the end of the day, a Liberian man always bringing his friend Liberian man down. But you see the foreigners, they will be their brother's keeper to the last. But you Liberian, even you take somebody, you carry them to your job, say, oh, that's my brother, yo. Yeah, he just came, he wants to start doing something, so I brought him here. That person get a job. No. It is true that person, your downfall will come. They will start to do all they can to make their presence fail so that you who brought them now, you no longer in that league. They want to see you off that area. That's how Liberians are. You will do all you can, and at the end of the day, the same people you do it for, they are the ones pressing the trigger. So all we need to do is to build our relationship, personal relationship with God. Oh yes. Some people you are helping today, and at the end of the day, they will say the worst thing about you because you don't have it now to give them. But no, God is in control. Let me now welcome the man Jesse Pride alongside Pastor Black Otto with the song Take Control. God is going to take control Just put your trust in him. He's the author and finisher of our faith. He knows what is best for you. Sometimes we make decisions of our own. We do not consult him. And when we make those decisions, he allows his permissive will. Yeah, go ahead. When we stumble, it's when we turn to know that indeed the decision we make wasn't the right decision. But whatever it is, I want you to build that personal relationship with God and know that his plan towards us is of good and not of evil, to bring us to an expected end. When you wake up in the morning, no matter how difficult the situation is, say, Lord, I give it to you. It is well. Jesse Pratt is right here on this broadcast.
When we don't know what to do, you will tell us what to do.
Hey.
We don't get close. You will open the door of me.
Margaret Solo, Mrs. Margaret Solo, happy birthday to
You
you.
will never let her
Hey, my niece, how you doing, man? Happy birthday, okay?
go. You will never leave. No. Papa, take control. Papa, take control. Yeah. Papa, take control. Don't change. We take You will never leave us. Your hands will be with us. The step of the righteous, I all the testify. It's not about the earthly possessions, but pleasing you is my heart desire. Hey, I can never be bought in a paper. My loyalty is for you. Papa, Papa, take control. Take the chance. We can lead the way. Papa, take control. Oh. Take the chance. Lead the way. Ladies and gentlemen, my sister Abakalo. Ayana, na, 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 na. Ayana, na, na, na. Yeah, na, 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 yeah, na, na, no. Shino. We hit it, come on. Yes, I don't need to walk. Na, 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 na. Oh, yeah, come on. Yes, sir. If one don't let him on to walk again.
Hey, good morning to you. Victoria Yata Bowman, how you doing this morning?
Yes, right. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Take control. Take control. Take control. Take control. Lead the way. Take control. Take control. Take control.
Oh yes, good morning to you, Miss Precious Zelly. Precious, how you doing? Thanks so much for sharing the show. We appreciate you. Ellie McGill, good morning to you. Charles G. Lamadan, good morning.
Let the heavens be open. With the thoughts of glory. As leaves our voices. We shall come one more time.
Good morning to you, Mark Goa. How you doing? You there in Newtown, Maryland County, Harper? I'd love to say good morning, my brother. Got a long time no see you.
Yeah, so we say, you will never leave us. Your hands will be with us. The step of the righteous. I hold the chance by you. You see, it's not about the earthly possessions. You see, it's not about the earthly possessions. It's not about the earthly possessions. Hey, Yakataba, it's not about the earthly possessions. For pleasing you is my heart desire. I can never be bought, neither paid for. My loyalty is for you alone.
Baba, take control. Oh yes, that's what I'm calling on him. Lord, whatever it is, take control. Recuse myself and you take charge this moment as we teach. Lord, we pray for your wisdom and understanding that your people will get to know you and build that personal relationship. So we said this morning we're going to be talking on the topic that is so unique. Understanding God's grace. I always say to folks, my grace is not your mate. You may have church mate, school mate, work mate, house mate, Just name all of the myth. Have you heard grace myth? No, there's no myth in grace. All right. So understanding God's grace as a Christian, these are things that we need to know. Grace is a fundamental concept in Christianity, often denied or defined as unmerited favor from God towards humanity. Okay? It signifies that God's love and blessing are given freely, not based on human merit or actions. This idea is rooted in various biblical passages. Notably, you can read Ephesians chapter 2, 8-9, which states that salvation comes by grace through faith, emphasizing that it is a gift from God rather than something earned through work. So let's understand grace as undeserved favor. All right? The notion of grace as undeserved favor is prevalent throughout the New Testament. For instance, in Romans chapter 3, verse 24, articulates that believers are justified by God's grace as a gift through the redemption found in Christ Jesus. This underscores the belief that grace is an intrinsic quality of God that leads him to offer gifts freely to sinners who do not deserve them. Grace as power for living. Now, let's understand that. Beyond being merely a disposition of God, grace also acts as a transformative power in the lives of believers. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, Paul writes about how God's grace is sufficient for him, and how divine power is made perfect in weaknesses. This indicates that grace empowered individuals to endure hardships and perform good works. Similarly, Philippians chapter 2 verse 13 highlights that it is God who works within believers to will and act according to his grace or good purpose. So we need to understand some of the multifaceted nature of grace. And what are they? Grace encompasses several dimensions: salvation grace, justified grace, sanctifying grace, and empowering grace. So if you want to get details of these, let me assure you and give you some biblical references that you need to know. When we talk about salvation grace, you can read for yourself Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8-9. The initial act of saving humanity from sin can be found in Ephesians chapter 2, 8-9. And justifying grace is the declaration of righteousness before God. That is found in Romans chapter 3, verse 24. Sanctifying grace is the ongoing process of spiritual growth and moral transformation that can be found in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13. And lastly, empowering grace, the strength provided by God to serve others and fulfill his purpose. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. So these are all references for the various graces: salvation grace, justifying grace, sanctifying grace, and empowering grace. These aspects illustrates that grace is not only functional or the foundational for salvation, but also essential for living a life aligned with God's will. So there are some practical implementation of grace. Now, what are they? You must understand grace has profound implementation for how believers live their lives. Understand? Forgiveness is one of the things that we as believers should understand when it comes to grace. Forgiveness. Believers are encouraged to forgive others as they have been forgiven. That can be found in Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. This reflects the forgiving nature of God's grace. Service. How many of you have come to realize your service to humanity, it counts? Believers are called to use their gifts in service to others, recognizing that these abilities are also gifts of grace. You can find that in 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. Now, let us give you a clear understanding about the two. Before we get to confidence in weakness, let us give you a clear understanding about forgiveness. A lot of us, we find ourselves at a point in this life, we say, no, this person, she always been doing it here. Today, but I can't forgive her. I will never forgive him. I will never forgive. Come on. Now, understand that. Even you, who is reneging to forgive that fellow man, that human being, as you are, each step of the way you sin against God, and you ask him for forgiveness, and he grants you his compassion. What about you? That someone may have wronged you and ask for forgiveness that you cannot forgive them. I swear, me, I can't forgive you. I can't forgive him. Me, I will not forgive her. Until I die, some of you will even made a sudden swear. But yeah, you there, every step of the way, every day of your life, you sin against God, but you ask him for forgiveness. Should God turn his back on you too? So my sister, my brother, you find yourself in the position where you have sworn that you will never forgive that person for what they have done to you. I want you to come back and take back that swear, or take back that vow you've made and reconcile. Because these are obstacles, these are things that set obstacles in your way, that you think within your mind that you are excelling, but you are just in one cycle. These are some of the things that causes stagnation in your life. Because if you cannot forgive somebody, how can God forgive you? And how can God bless your life? Because God, in a merciful grace, he knows that when he bless you, you will turn out to do the worst thing. That brother or that sister will become a victim of that blessing that God has blessed you, because you will use it against him or her. So stagnation becomes the order of the day for you. But I'm not praying, what is not happening? Go back. Retrospect, you made a vow that you will never forgive somebody. Some of you, you even made a vow, something happened between you and somebody, you swear until today the person have died, and you did not reconcile with them. You feel that guilt. You are guilty because you did not reconcile with that brother. You did not reconcile with that sister. You did not reconcile with that person. Even that relationship. Who are you? He said, if you forgive, if you confess your sin, he's faithful and just to forgive you and cleanse you from all unrighteousness. That person may have wronged you. Even if they have not come to the point to understand that indeed they wronged you and don't want to make an amends. Walk up to them and say, Lord, whatever you have done, I hold nothing against you. Let's be cool. Being cool, that's why we always say, the Bible have instructed us to love our neighbors as ourselves. But there's nowhere in the Bible that the Bible instructs you to make everyone your friend. The choice is given you. Not everyone can be your friend. Because There are people who come your way because of so many reasons. Not everyone you can call a friend. So it is your choice to make whoever you want to be a friend. But it is by mandate that you love everyone regardless. It is by choice that you choose your friends. But it is a mandate that you love your neighbors as yourself. We're talking about service. A lot of us, our service to humanity, we have gotten our earthly reward, and it's not unto God. Somebody say, but why divine is saying that? It's not unto God. Because the Bible says, what your right hand does, the left hand shouldn't know about it. You are doing this thing for this sister, or you've done this thing for this brother. Everyone in our community will know that you don't want to buy that share for that brother, or that you don't want to buy that scare for that sister, or that you don't want to get that lapasu to that sister. God doesn't honor that. You have already gotten your reward. You need an earthly reward, that your reward there. He doesn't honor that. So when you go about doing things for people, your service to humanity should be unto God, because it is through which God going to look down and pull down his blessings on you. There are people who they are very generous. They can give. But guess what now? They talk more than what one least expect from them. When they do that thing for you, Martha will know about it. Josephine will know about it. Sarah will know about it. Everybody will get to know that they have done this thing for you. It is not unto God. Your service is a lip service. It's not a service unto God. Because service to humanity is in rest standing with God's plan and purpose for mankind. So if you think because you are rendering service to humanity, everyone should know about it. Oh yeah. Oh, they make it. Oh yeah. You have already gotten your earthly reward. So work up 2 things so that the left hand shouldn't know about it. God will reward you in the open. He sees in secret and he rewards us in the open. That's why he prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemy. He anoints our head with oil. Our cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days. He said all the days of our lives. So that we should dwell in his presence. All right? Lastly, confidence in weakness. A lot of us, when we are weary, we lose confidence. A lot of us, when things turn around from what it was to the worst, we give up. But I've come to encourage you. Your confidence in weakness, knowing that God's grace covers weaknesses, allows believers to approach challenges with confidence, trusting in his sufficiency. You can find that in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let me get Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16 for us so that we read it and you get the clearer understanding. All right? Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let's get there quickly. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. What it says. Let's get there quickly. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. Let's get there quickly. It says 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of needs. Once again, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of needs. God knows we sin against him each day of our life, but his mercy, his merciful grace is always there to give us that second chance. then who are you? You look at the brother, you look at the sister, and say, "Me pa, I done with you." Now he's like, and in summary, teaching of God's grace emphasized its role as both as gift and a transformative power in the lives of believers. It encourages humanity, fosters forgiveness, and empowers individuals for service. With that being said, we open the lines 0887 105 105, 0887 105 105, 0778 665073 are the numbers to call. You've been listening to the teaching. You have your input to make, or you've been led and you got some lines within the teaching that encourages your strength and faith in God. You can call and let's share the time talking. 0778 665073, 0887 105 105. Those are the numbers to call. 0887 105 105, 0887 105 105, 0778 665073 are the numbers to call and form part of the Gospel Caravan right here on Love FM 105.1. Let's now welcome Brother Benjamin Y. W. Gibson. He's out with something new. Get it right here. He's our visually impaired brother. God is using him mightily. Let's listen to his song. So we await your calls on 0887 105 105, 0778 665073. Jesus, I want to. Zero 0887 105 105, 0778 665073 are the numbers to call. Let me say good morning to you, Mr. Lungaje. Hey, how you doing, Dad? May the healing of God be upon you this morning, wherever you are. Mr. Lungaje, you're there on the Rabosui Highway, VOA community. Good morning. 0778 665073, 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. Jesus. Hey, Papa, I'm on top of young. Miss Sonia Abba, Miss Alice Abba, how you doing this morning? I'd love to say good morning to all of you, the Abbas family there in the Lakpasi community. How you doing? 077-866-5073 077-866-5073 087-105-105 are the numbers to call. Oh, yes, it's right here on the Gospel Caravan, right here on Love FM 105.1. Apa glip of lane, that ain't your way. Ponzo, young we call you. I'm on his brother Benjamin Y.W. Gibson from the visually impaired community. Say good morning to you, my brother. That song is powerful. Jesus, Jesus, I'm tired. Here come, let's pray to God. Oh yes, I'm gonna told you. Hey, Papa. Come on, it's Apa glip of lane, that ain't your way. Ponzo, young we call you. I'm a told you. 0887-105-105 0887-105-105 0778-665-073 are the numbers to call. This is the Gospel Caravan. We're teaching on understanding God's grace. Jesus, Beji, you come. Beji, biage bae. I'm a told you. Jesus, I'm a told. You will never leave you nor forsake you, never put burden on you, you just can't bear. So come to him, all ye that live and heavy living, I will give you rest. Oh yeah. I'm a told you. I'm a told you. Let's get to the telephone line. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
What is your name?
Well, I'm still calling from already Hotan this morning.
Oh, okay, let's hear you.
Huh?
Go ahead. You've been following the broadcast. You listen to the teaching. You listening to the song. What's your take?
Yeah, I love the trap. I've never trap. I love that. We will win a battle. Yeah.
We're
But
gonna.
me, I'm not doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The me will win a battle.
Oh
The
yes.
kingdom battle. Yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother.
All right.
I'm on Todia. I'm on Todia. Jesus, I'm on Todia. Oh man, this song is wonderful. The battle is not ours, it is the Lord's. Who are you to fight a battle on your own? He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one cometh to the Father except but by me. Who are you trusting? Some put their trust in chariots, in charms, in that bodio, that's all. Put your trust in the Lord, because the battle is not ours, it is the Lord's. That trouble you're going through in your life, that battle is not yours, it is the Lord's. Oh yeah. Is it the battle of getting finances to pay your children's school fees? That battle is not yours, my friend. It is the Lord. He's gonna send that destiny helper. Is it your sustainability? Lean on your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge the Lord. He will direct your path. You cannot sustain yourself. He is your sustainer. So don't cry. Don't feel weary. Put your trust in God, He's able. Is it about that sickness that got you stuck up on that bed? I've come to encourage you. That battle is not yours. It is the Lord. Oh yes. He said He would never leave us nor forsake us. He will never put burden on us we just can't bear. What are you telling Him this moment? So keep those calls coming on 0778 665 087 105 105. Let me take to the telephone line. Good morning. Good morning. 0778 665 087 105 105 are the numbers to call. It's Brother Benjamin Gibson. Jesus. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Google Divine Connor.
How you doing?
Yeah, fine.
What's your name?
Ben Kaplan.
Okay, Ben.
For Nancy.
Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I say the morning when I woke up, yeah, I was feeling bad, but then I soon to the station. Yeah, all what he said, yeah, I prayed to live by for giving it was my yeah. When things help me, I can just keep in her for a long time. Then I listen to you, I will live by it.
Yeah, my brother, let go, because it's just like a burden on you. For every time you see that person, that anger, that resentment, it keep pressuring you. So let go. It happened for a reason. And that thing that you went through, it taught you a lesson that when you see it, you cannot go back to it, right? So it's just a lesson. So every difficult moment in our life, God allowed these things so that we develop from one level to the other. So let it go, my brother. Tilly just said, let it go. There are people who walk away from you. Let them walk. The part in your life story is over. Stop reawakening the dead when it is dead. Let it go and live with the memories that comes. Okay, my brother. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, that God be with you. That God straighten you, yeah.
Amen.
Everything to bring new world outside the change. We the citizen.
Thank you so much, my brother. Oh yes, the burden of the proof is on you, because but every time you see that person who have offended you, that anger, that resentful spirit, that revenge comes out. If you are doing something happily, and as soon as you hear or see that person, your whole future change. That is a weight you have on yourself. Just let it go. Good morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I really admire the courage, the anointing I fall on it because of your motivation on the radio and through the word of God. I'm always calling for chicken soup packet, Pastor you and ya, everything, and always square.
Okay, my sister.
I'm thinking about the different kind of salvation, the different kind of grace. I want for you to help me, please, to give me the scripture, the forgiveness, grace, and things. Please help me with 4 points.
No, okay. Just keep listening. I'll recap what we did earlier, okay? Okay, so we said salvation grace. We said salvation grace. You can find it in Ephesians chapter 2, 8 to 9.
Yes, salvation grace.
Salvation grace is Ephesians chapter 2, Ephesians chapter 2, 8 to 9. Then justifying grace.
Justifying grace
is Romans chapter 3, verse 24.
Romans 3,
24. Sanctifying grace is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13 is sanctifying grace, and empowering grace is
2:13. I'll do it with your time. 2:13, right?
Yeah, 2:13. Empowering grace is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10.
Inspiring?
Empowering grace.
Yes.
Okay. Then we talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is found in Colossians chapter 3, verse 13.
I missed the empowerment grace in the chapter, the scripture.
1 Corinthians 15:10.
1 Corinthians
15:10. 1 Corinthians 15:10. Empowering grace.
Okay.
So the implementation of grace, practical implementation of grace, we say forgiveness. You can get that in Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. Colossians, Colossans. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13 is forgiveness. Then service is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. Then lastly, empowerment grace is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. Okay, then confidence in weakness. When you are in the state of weakness, to gain confidence, you can read Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16.
Confidence grace,
Your confidence when you are in the state of weakness. Confidence in weakness. To gain confidence in your weakness, You can read Hebrew chapter 4, verse 16.
Hebrew chapter 4, verse 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Inquiry, okay.
So we say salvation, let's go over it. Salvation, grace, we say Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8 to 9. Justifying grace, we say Romans chapter 3, verse 24. Sanctifying grace, you can find that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13. And lastly, the empowering grace is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. Then we talk about practical implementation of grace. How do we practicalize grace? So we said we can practicalize grace through forgiveness, we can practicalize grace through service, and we can practicalize grace through the confidence in our weaknesses. So forgiveness is Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. You got it?
Yes.
And service is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10. And confidence in weakness is Hebrew chapter 4, verse 16.
Hebrew 4, 16.
Yeah. Okay, my sister.
Okay. I want to be calling a time.
Yeah. We always hear on Sunday morning.
And straight up and I can get a person number much a time.
Wow. 770-378-566. 378. Oh, she's off. Wow. 770-378-566. 770-0770-378-566. Well, God is doing what he said he would do. He's not a man to lie, neither the son of man to comprehend. He said in his word, his words won't return to him void. He must accomplish its aim, regardless of who bring the word. I'm not a pastor, but by his special grace, he's using me to bring forth the word for somebody that needs to hear it. Good morning. 0770 378 378-566. 37 no 770 378
Yes.
566
566.
66, not 8. 66.
566.
Thank you so much. I'm a sinner. I sin each day. You see, if we confess our sins, he's faithful and just to forgive us and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. That's why I continue to say to friends, hey, Divine, you need to be a pastor. If it is the calling of God upon my life, who am I? God uses the foolish to accomplish the wise. Oh yeah. I may be foolish in your eyes. I may be that person you see me to be. But guess what? God has a plan and a purpose for you and I. If it is his calling upon my life, I need not to go on the pulpit. I can sit right on this radio through my profession and encourage somebody to be won over to Christ. I need not to go and open a church. God gonna do what he says he will do. That's why a lot of us will miss our calling. A lot of us will miss steps. God gave us the spirit of discernment. When you reach a place in your life, you see things. You may have You know, there are people right now who went to school, they got the BSc, they got a master, but what they have studied, they are not practicing it. And they find themselves doing something different. So, like we said last Sunday, we must ask God to identify for us the gift He has given us. So that gift that He has given us, we can put it into practice. There are a lot of people who have the gift of prophecy. There are people who have the gift of prophecy. So because you have that gift of prophecy, you want to use that gift in a negative way now, you know, by putting people at loggerhead. God revealed to redeem. He gave you the authority. He gave you the ability to see things. Because He revealed to redeem, so that you can be a blessing to someone's life, and not to use it against them. There are people who have the gift of prophecy. Oh yes, they see things from afar and tell you. I've come to realize that one of the gifts God has given me is the gift of motivation. I'm able to motivate people. I see myself, every time I try to shy away from it, I see myself coming back to it. Oh yes. To speak to the conscience of people. That's a gift. So some people, you know, someone may say, you are a motivational speaker. So I need to work towards that, right? So we need to identify the gifts God has given us and work towards it. Oh yeah. God has given people gifts of teaching. There will be people who will come, they get all of the degree, they will teach, and people won't understand. But somebody will come to the place and do the same thing and teach the same lesson, and there will be lots of understanding. That's a gift. So your prayer to God, Lord, give me that spirit of discernment that I should identify my gift and work towards it. What are you telling God this moment? Jesus. So let's get the calls coming, man. On 0778 665 0887 105 105 are the numbers to call. The name is Rufus Divine Cunning. Shortly we'll be winding down the curtains on the program The Gospel Caravan. We are here every Sunday morning from 7:30 to 10 o'clock. This is Love FM 105.1, transmitting to you from 10th Street, Sincor, right in the Technology Building. I'm adored to you. I'm adored to you. Jesus, I'm adored. My prayer for you this moment, may God send you that destiny helper. Oh yeah, destiny may be delayed but never denied. Jesus, I'm adored to you. Many thanks to all of you who formed part of the broadcast by means of calling. You play a listening role. And some of you follow our live on Facebook, Love TV Live. I'd love to say good morning and thank you so kindly for being a part of the broadcast. I always say to you, there are two things in this life you'll always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And you must take responsibility of two things in your life: your fortune and that of your misfortune. Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, "The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will suffice to solve most of the world's problems." Liberians, let us know everything that we do. The physical goes along with the spiritual. So if you continue to prophesy, say those negative things about our country, the devil will take root and implement them. That's why you hear Ghana men will say, Ghana is the best, Ghana is the best. And gradually, those prophecies that they continue to reign on their nation, transformation is taking place. Oh yes, they are excelling gradually, speedily. But why Liberians? Why Liberia is retrogressing 177 years? Because we always use negative words in our nation, always wishing for the worst. Until we can take up the time to build that sense of nationalism and patriotism, that the mercy of God guide and protect us as a nation and people. He that dwell in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I will say of the Lord, He is my strength and my refuge, in Him I trust. And I leave you with this: the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He made me to lie down in green pastures. Lead me beside the still waters, He restored my soul. Lead me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. For Thou art with me, the rod and Thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou God anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will do it in the presence of the Lord forever. Go to church, go in fellowship with the brethren. Peace be unto thee. Have yourselves a wonderful and God bless day. Bye bye on the program.